There's a report out there that if the Arizona Cardinals do not retain Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon, there's an outside chance that they could run it back with Kyler Murray in 2026. What does that look like? Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen, now part of the number one sports podcast platform in Locked On. Happy New Year's Eve. Hope everybody's having a fantastic holiday season. This is the time of year where nobody knows what day it is. Nobody knows if they should be working. And also, nobody knows which way is up. This is largely what I, allude to during the majority of the Arizona Cardinals season. After Christmas, before New Year's, nobody knows what the hell is going on. And even with this, it's going to be fascinating to see with this new, very light report out by Josh Weinfuss, wrote an article, and Arizona Cardinals writer for ESPN. He said that there's an outside chance, quote unquote, that if the Arizona Cardinals don't bring back Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon, that they could potentially run it back with Kyler Murray in 2026. I did the Run It Backs show yesterday with Jonathan Gannon. I want to do it with Kyler Murray today. We'll pivot to Crossover Thursday tomorrow on New Year's Day with Doug McCain from Locked On Rams, and we'll do the full game preview for the last game of the year on Friday, as usual. Again, thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. So I'm going to do the same blueprint as yesterday. Is it the right move if they move off Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon to bring Kyler Murray back for 2026? What needs to happen to solidify the future if they were to bring back Kyler Murray and not retain Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon? And should they run it back? What does running it back look like? What does it look like? This is the only angle that we haven't really talked about since he's been put on IR. Once he was put on IR and then ruled out for the year, it's like, all right, that's it. That's a wrap. And I said it throughout the year. It's like, if Jacoby Brissett ever starts and there's a chance for Kyler Murray to play, but he doesn't, that's a wrap. The one thing I didn't think about, because it's not lunacy, it's not, it's not oversight or anything like that. It's, well, what if they do a switch-a-ram-a-ding-dong and remove Jonathan Gannon and Monti Ossenfort from post and keep Kyler Murray, bring in a new head coach, a new GM, and, a new OC, and run it back with Kyler? This is such a brain screw. It's such a brain screw. So let me get the disclaimer out there. I was a Kyler Murray guy until week 5 of this year. Long haul, always on his side, always defending for the most part. It's not the best quarterback in the world. It's not a top 10 quarterback in the world. What he can do, only a very, very few select quarterbacks can do when Kyler Murray's at his peak. And that's true. And that remains true. Leadership, height, inability to throw across over the middle, none of that stuff's ever going to change. Well, leadership, but his physical attributes are never going to change. They're never going to change. So this is the question that ruins my brain. Is there a quarterback out there that's a better option that's more talented that would become available than Kyler Murray? That's the question. And the answer is probably no. That doesn't mean they should bring him back. That doesn't mean it's the best move. That doesn't mean that this relationship isn't just, a high five and see you later. And, it was fun and, it kind of wasn't fun, but it was fun for the most part. And, see ya. Best of luck. Is there a quarterback that they could bring in with the ceiling of Kyler Murray? Probably not. Is there a world where you can get a high draft pick for him? I still think yes. There are plenty of teams. There are plenty of teams that need a quarterback, that have a lot of draft capital, that may be more willing to give up a little bit more of a premium because they have so many first-round picks, namely Cleveland and the Jets. The Raiders, sure, they throw a first-round pick. They drafted Sebastian Janikowski in the first round. Same family lineage. But it's such a weird... It's not even like getting back with an ex, having this conversation. It's like thinking that your ex is gone to a different planet and 99.9% of the chance not coming back. And they show up in your door with muffins. They're like, hey, sweetie, I'm back. And you got to break up with your current, partner that you've been with for 20 plus years, whatever it is. You get the whole thing. It's just a weird situation. That may not be the best analogy, but I'm trying. It's New Year's Eve. I'm trying. So when I read this report, I saw it on Sleeper reported it and added Josh. I just think that it's too far gone. First of all, I think they'd much more likely bring back Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon than not and retain Kyler Murray. Like there's way too many compound things that are most likely not going to happen in that order to warrant this. But I thought it was a fun exercise. We've talked about the same couple topics for the majority of the season that, they can't run the ball, and Jacoby Brissett's probably not it, but he's good enough. At times, the defense is giving up 40 burgers, and they're probably going to give up another one on Sunday, depending on if they play the Rams play their starters, because at that point, they could be locked in to the 6th seed. Talk about that on Friday. Just the idea, like I wanted to sit in a jacuzzi with you and just soak at the idea of Kyler Murray actually coming back and being the quarterback for the Cardinals in 2026. So obviously the OC would be different. The head coach would obviously be different. It makes me think, what could Brian Daboll do with Kyler Murray? He's done interesting things with Daniel Jones and Josh Allen. Obviously the antithesis body makeup wise of Kyler. I mean, those guys are both very tall and lanky. I just think it's past its time. That doesn't mean it may not be the right move. Could you say Kyler Murray's a proven commodity, like a proven force in this league? The win-loss record would show otherwise. They had the run in 2021. When he's good, he is great. And when he's bad, he's Gardner Minshew. So that's why he's such a polarizing character to begin with, that even this report, that even this coming out, it's just like, oh man, my brain didn't need these gymnastics today. I didn't have to read that. I didn't want to read that, because that's just another kaleidoscope side of this story where it's like, still possible. But I'm assuming that is the furthest most away from the most far away from actually happening is retaining Kyler Murray's services, which sucks. You wanted it to work out. It kind of worked out last year, and then they crumbled. It's just Kyler Murray's got that skill set where it's like, oh yeah, you put him in a different situation. Oh, look at him thriving. What a surprise. It's the Cardinals. I'm not sure that would be the case with this one. And I think getting his contract off the books, getting a high draft pick if possible. I don't think a late first rounder is out of the realm of possibility. Truly, I don't. I think it's better for the team, even though, conversely, there's not a better quarterback out there than him who's going to be available. And there you have it. Let's say he does come back. What needs to happen to make this as close to a no-brainer as possible? I'll discuss it next. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is being brought to you by Game Time. So the NFL season is almost over. Okay? There's nothing better than being in the game. The playoffs are coming up. Dude, a week from this weekend, I believe, got 5 playoff games, 6, including Monday night. Okay? The crowd noise, the energy, cheering alongside other fans. If you're a Cardinals fan, or if you're a football fan, or if you're a fan of another team, Game Time's got you covered. The frustrating part has always been the getting tickets part. Waiting in queues, dealing with logins, watching prices just skyrocket at checkout. That's where the Game Time app comes in. Gives you the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing NFL tickets and experiences in just a few taps. So this was last year. I've got tickets for my stepdad to go see the 49ers. He's a 49ers fan. I was up in Northern California visiting my family, and we went to the Game Time app, and they were playing Seattle. It was a great game. We went. We're like, hey, where do you want to sit? Oh, look at these prices. Oh, there's a deal. Oh, man, this just happened. Oh, great. Like, it's crazy. And there's my favorite part about the entire app is the view from your seat feature. So you click on the tickets that you may want to purchase, and it gives you a panoramic seat view from what you're going to see if you buy those tickets. You plop your butt down, and that's what your vantage point is going to be. It's amazing. It takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON NFL. That's LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today and get back to being there live. Please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals. Hit that subscribe button, man. You know the drill. Join the Everydayer Club. Ads-free Locked On Cardinals. Members-only Discord that I'm a part of. Bro, link is in the description. Starting to see people trickle in. It's just a fun added texture to what we're going to be doing the entirety of the offseason, because the offseason is going to be banana sandwich. The offseason is going to be insane. We don't know what that looks like yet. What if that has nothing to do with the quarterback position? What if it has everything to do with finding a new coaching staff and GM? That's the world we're living in for these 25 to 28 minutes, depending on how long I talk for. With a report out that there's an outside chance that if Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon aren't retained, that they could run it back with Kyler Murray in 2026. What would need to happen to solidify that? And so what would need to happen to solidify the future for this team with that happening? Now, this segment is going to be different than yesterday's segment where I did the same thing, but that was more running it back with Jonathan Gannon. What needs to happen to solidify the future for this team, pretty much predominantly surrounding the quarterback. This is for Kyler Murray to thrive here, Kyler Murray to excel here. Now, some may think it's a fool's errand. We've been down this road too many times. 100%, I get you. This is an exercise in a world where it could potentially happen, so it needs to be discussed. Whether you agree with it, disagree with it, I don't know how I'd feel about it. But these are just things that need to happen if Kyler. So now we're in a world. Kyler Murray's back. Monti Ossenfort, Jonathan Gannon are gone. Now what? You need a killer offensive-minded coach, okay? That's obvious. But not just a killer offensive-minded coach. One who's coached before. I don't care if it's a retread, if it's an offensive head coach. If it's a defensive head coach, not a fan. You need an all-world level defensive coordinator because they've got the talent. And you need an offensive coordinator, preferably a former quarterback, somebody like that, where if you have a head coach who's calling the plays, you need an offensive coordinator to add that extra texture to keep Kyler Murray from bottoming out, to keep Kyler Murray from Kyler Murraying on the 3 and outs, to have the tightest knit group around this young man to there's no world where he fails. And that happens all the time in the NFL. It happens. So is it Brian Daboll? I don't know. Like, is Josh McCown ready for an offensive coordinator role? I don't know. Is there a DC that's going to get fired because, it's time to move on? I don't know. But that needs to happen. And, that seems pretty far-fetched. It does. It seems pretty far-fetched, just like this conversation, but that needs to happen if Kyler Murray comes back in 2026. That's number one. Number two, they need Marvin Harrison Jr. to work. They need Marvin Harrison Jr. to work. And a lot of it's on Kyler, a lot of it's on Marv, a lot of it's on Drew Petzing. Let's go 33, 33, 33 repeating, okay? That's not what this conversation is about. Marv needs to work. Michael Wilson, Trey McBride need to work. They weren't working during the first 5 weeks. I don't know if that's scheme. I don't know if that's Kyler Murray. I don't know if that's offensive line. I don't know what it is. But it needs to work. Far-fetched? Maybe, because we haven't seen all three work yet with Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray's back, it needs to work. And that is predominantly set on the offensive game plan. And, anybody else? Anybody want to guess what the third one is? They've got to get a good punter. No. Anybody else? Number 5 or number 6 overall, best offensive lineman. Sign the 2 best offensive linemen in free agency. Do what Chicago did. And I'm not comparing Caleb Williams to Kyler Murray. I'm not comparing the Arizona Cardinals, Chicago Bears really out of the sense that they got a head coach and they bolstered their offensive line. That's what happened. That's the differentiator. That's the only difference in Chicago. New head coach, new offensive line. They spent a lot of money. Joe Thuney was expensive. They've drafted offensive linemen. They signed another one. His name escapes me right now. They completely replenished the talent up front. Is it going to work? Don't know. But that is the 3-step plan for Kyler Murray to have the best situation possible in his existence as an NFL quarterback if Michael Bidwell chooses him over GM Monti Ossenfort. That's the 3-step plan. We've seen hints of it working, okay? I know that this is a ridiculous premise that needs to be discussed, but it needs to be discussed because it's an option. And some could argue it's the best option, which is crazy, but it's true. In some respects, this is the best option. I mean, it's more fire JG and keep Kyler. I don't think Monty should be under the guillotine yet. So much of this is out of his control. Is your head exploding yet? Is your head exploding yet? It could be the best option. It is the best option. Doesn't mean they should do it. But for 2026, it is probably the best option. I'm having this realization as I'm recording this. I'm not saying it should happen. Is it the right move? I'll do a full segment on it next. Bringing Kyler Murray back and removing Jonathan Gannon is the best option if they can do those 3 things I just mentioned. Awesome offensive head coach, killer DC, former player, quarterback at OC. Make it work with Marv, Michael, and Trey, and add 3 new pieces to the offensive line. Obviously, all of these things are ridiculous in nature to string together in one offseason. But if they did, it'd be the best option. And my brain wasn't ready to melt that way in front of you today. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Is it the right move? Is it the right move to do something like this? We'll discuss that as we wrap up here. This New Year's Eve edition, Locked On Cardinals. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. I don't want everybody to go crazy in the comments with this. This is a fun exercise. I love doing these shows because it's, first of all, it's topical. It's not like, hey, let's see if Dan Marino can come out of retirement. These are the things that need to happen when he does. No. This is a very real, albeit 1% possibility of this happening. But it's still active. It's not an extinct volcano conversation. Especially if there are rumblings that they can't trade him, which I find extremely hard to believe. Like this entire show, I find extremely hard to believe to happen. But if the report's out there, I got to talk about it. Is it the right move? No. It's time. And I'm not saying trade Kyler Murray, keep JG, and extend him. At this point, if you want to fire everybody, fine. It makes sense. Do it. They don't deserve to be head coaches. Look at win-loss record. Sure. Injuries, bring them back. Sure. This is so up for interpretation and so up for, and what I mean by interpretation is there's not an interpreter or interpretation necessary for the win-loss record. Understand. Them giving up 40-plus points and him being defensive head coach. Understand. All of it, get it. Statistically speaking, he should not be employed next season. 100%. And if he's not, I'd be like, yeah, that sucks. Best of luck. You're not going to see anybody upset here. But is it the right move to bring Kyler Murray back and fire Jonathan Gannon? It's not a needle mover enough to where it should happen. And the Cardinals need a needle mover. Easy for me to say. Oh, needle mover. Move up and draft a quarterback. Don't be a cautionary tale, please. Oh, here's big brain for you. Kyler Murray gets traded to the Raiders for Max Crosby. Kyler Murray plays for a couple years and then jumps over to play for the Las Vegas Athletics, who drafted him in 2018 at number 9 overall. Hashtag analysis. I will be doing, like, when the season's over, like, immediately after the season's over, probably, so what? Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday of next week, I'll do best trade options for Kyler. Number 1's going to be Max Crosby. It makes all the sense. Max makes money. Kyler makes money. They need a quarterback. The Cardinals need picks. I don't know what it would look like pick-wise, but I would trade Kyler Murray and a 5th for Max Crosby and a 4th, something like that. I think it's 1-to-1. I know Max Crosby is all world. He gets hurt. He's not young, but putting him with Josh Sweat and then whoever they draft, like, sign me up. Just a little titter for next week. Is it the right move? No. I wish it would be. I wish it worked this year. Again, I was a Kyler guy up until week 5 of this year. The fact that they were 2-3 through 5 weeks was like, yeah. It's kind of like 2021 all over again. When I knew, I sniffed it right away. And this isn't like I'm so great, because I'm not. But, like, I sniffed it right away week 1 in Tennessee when they beat them by 100. Like, same stuff. False starts, bad timeouts. First and goal turns into field goals. It's the same stuff. Took them a while to catch up, but the league caught up. It's the same kind of thing with this. It's like excitement for it to work out and be a reclamation and all this stuff. That's gone. Will he succeed elsewhere? I don't know. I hope so. If it's Jonathan Gannon or Kyler Murray, that's really the tough one for me. Because it's not like, oh, one's going to win you Super Bowl and one isn't. One's going to get a contract extension after this year and one isn't if they stay. It's like, ugh, neither. You got to appreciate what Jonathan Gannon has done for this organization, truly. And for those that don't see it, that's fine. And I completely understand win-loss, get him out of here. They suck, fire everybody. Okay. He's completely changed the culture of this organization. It's dysfunctional between the lines, and he may not be a very great head coach, but he ushered in a new culture in this organization, and it's palpably different than what it was. And I will stand on that. So if that was his purpose for this organization and he moves on to other pastures, okay. It's harder to let go than just that. And that's not a loser mentality. It's just a organizational human mentality. Like, maybe one more. What's it really going to hurt? What's it really going to hurt when it comes down to it? You know, it's easy to say fire him. Who's going to be better? Who's going to hire him? And that is kind of a loser mentality. Like, oh, so so mediocrity is fine. You're not going to go take a chance. It's like, I know. Unfortunately, this is a no-win situation for now, until there's some more clarity added on who the quarterback's going to be, who the coaching staff's going to be, where their pick's going to be, and things like that. So this exercise today, thanks for doing it with me. I think this is fun. The best option is to bring Kyler Murray back and fire Jonathan Gannon. If you're looking at 2026 production, known commodities, you fire Jonathan Gannon, you bring back Kyler Murray. That's crazy that's the best option. But it's not the right one. I was Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. Hope everybody has a fantastic new year. I can't believe it, man. I'm turning the corner. It'll be season 10. Thanks to everybody who was there in 2017. You know, when Bo was here, brought him on for a couple years. 2018, 3-13 year where they scored less points per game than the 2008 Detroit Lions, who went 0-16. To me, saying they should have drafted Nick Bosa and then taken Kyler Murray. To the D-Hop trade, which was insane. To now, it's just like, it's been a wild ride. And I hope it doesn't stop anytime soon. And that's all because of you. So thank you. Locked On Cardinals. Remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you tomorrow.